Well, it's Tuesday, September 1st, 2020, and welcome to the reading of the Record Courier. My name is Pam, and let's begin today's reading with the area deaths. Donald Eddy, or as our friends know him as Dwayne, 56, of Middlesfield, passed away Thursday, August 27th, at his home with his family by his side following a brief battle with an aggressive cancer. Calling hours will be Thursday, September 3rd, from 5 p.m. until time of services at 7 p.m. at the Shorts Spicer Chrislop Funeral Homes in Ravenna Chapel. Mary DeWall, 87, of Streetsboro, passed away Thursday, August 27th, at the Woodlands Health and Rehabilitation Center in Ravenna. There will be no calling hours or services. Cremation has taken place. Janice Horner, 76, of Windham, passed away on Sunday, August 30th. Arrangements were entrusted to Mallory DeHaven Carlson Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 8382 Center Street in Garrettsville. Lloyd Frost O'Keefe, a champion for peace and social justice, who was loved by family and friends for his genuineness, grace, caring, courage, and leadership. O'Keefe died August 22nd at Kent Healthcare Center in Kent. Cremation has taken place. A brief service and burial of Lloyd's ashes is planned for the Memorial Garden at Grace Church. The service will be recorded and will be available for viewing on the Bisler Funeral Home website, BislerAndersons.com, at a later date. Well, that concludes the Tuesday area death notices. Now for our first article. Streetsboro teacher Amanda Ackerman passes away, by Kristen Cano. The Streetsboro school community is mourning the death of second grade teacher Amanda Ackerman, who died Saturday due to complications from childbirth. Tragically, we lost a member of our Streetsboro family. Superintendent Michael Dahlbog tweeted on Sunday, "Please keep her husband John, newborn son, and family in your prayers and thoughts as they navigate this tragedy." Counseling was available at the school starting on Monday. Streetsboro students begin returning to school for in-person instructions on Tuesday. According to her obituary, Ackerman, 33, of Fairview Park, was a compassionate second grade teacher at Streetsboro City Schools who loved her students. Calling hours are on September 2nd, 3 to 5 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. at Waite & Son Funeral Home, 3300 Center Road in Brunswick. Mass of the Christian burial will take place at 10 a.m. on September 3rd at St. Martin of Tours Catholic Church, 1800 Station Road, Valley City. Well, so very sad. Up next, Kent State launches COVID-19 dashboard, reports 12 new cases, by Kristen Cano. Kent State University's coronavirus dashboard as of August 31st, 2020, NA, indicates no new positive cases, or the number of no positive cases is too small to report to ensure the privacy of the individuals. Kent State University has 12 new coronavirus cases for the week of August 24th, bringing the total cases to 24 since July 7th, with all cases occurring at the Kent campus. This is according to the university's new coronavirus dashboard, which shows the number of cases at each of the 8 campuses, plus the College of Podiatric Medicine and the Twinsburg Academic Center. Following guidance provided by the City of Kent Health Department, and until further notice, all university-sponsored events, meetings, or gatherings of more than 10 people on the Kent campus must be held virtually, including events and activities sponsored by registered student organizations and academic departments. This directive does not apply to in-person classes, according to a press release. This is a precautionary and proactive measure to limit the spread of COVID-19 and to continue to maximize our opportunity to remain together on campus and learn in person. Currently, there is a small number of positive cases related to the Kent campus, the university said in a statement. Kent State students began moving into residence halls on August 19th, and classes began on Thursday. The dashboard will be updated weekly on Tuesdays. The numbers represent outcomes from tests conducted at the DeWeese Health Center, as well as self-reported information from members of the Kent community who have been tested at another location. University spokesman Eric Manfield was unable to provide further information about the positive cases, including whether they are faculty, staff, or students, and whether the individuals live on or off campus. He was also unable to provide information regarding whether the university's dedicated isolation and quarantine spaces were currently in use. Due to the low numbers providing any information, including whether they are faculty, staff, or students, whether they live on or off campus, or whether isolation and quarantine spaces in use may identify those individuals, Mansfield said. Van Kampen Hall on the edge of Kent's campus has been designated as isolation space for on-campus students who have tested positive for COVID-19. Additional rooms have been designated as quarantine space for those who may have been exposed to the disease, as determined by Kent Health, but have not yet tested positive. Testing is available at the DeWeese Health Center and a new backup trailer, and the university is offering Quest Diagnostics COVID-19 self-collection test kits. The test kit was designed for self-collection by individuals with a consumer-friendly nasal swab approach. The test requires clinical observation when the individual does the test, Mansfield said. The Kent Health Department is still in the process of conducting its contact tracing for the 12 new cases, Commissioner Joan Seidel said. There are currently 22 quarantined individuals in the city associated with Kent State's case, but there are more who are no longer in Kent, Seidel said. We're still in process. People will think about it and realize, oh, I was with this person too. So we don't get 100% of contacts on the first call, Seidel said. She added that Kent State's coronavirus response team helps identify those who came in contact with the individuals who were tested positive while on campus, but that the health district takes a more global approach and looks at who the individual may have come in contact with at off-campus jobs, restaurants, or fitness classes. We've worked all through the summer together because not all students go home, so this is not a new relationship. We have an established relationship and we're working through the process to make sure it's as expedient as possible. We've got a good working relationship for sure, Seidel said. Launched Monday, the dashboard also provides information about the status of each campus's classrooms, dining options, residence halls, research and workspaces. No changes have been made at any location. According to an email sent Thursday by Reopening Committee Chair Manfred Van Dolman, there is not a magic number that would initiate a change in campus operations. But we have several indicators we evaluate and monitor closely, including the number of positive cases, availability of tests and PPE, availability of quarantine/isolation space, staff availability and absenteeism, as well as compliance with the Flash's Safe 7 principles. These factors all play a critical role in evaluating how we safely move through this semester and adjust as needed, Van Dolman wrote. He continued that the university has spent all summer preparing for multiple situations, including adjusting the mix of in-person and remote courses or converting to a fully remote delivery, whether for a few weeks or an extended period of time. Our next article, Brimfield woman sentenced to prison after hitting Kent State student with a car, by Eileen McClory. A 57-year-old Brimfield woman was sentenced to a year in prison last week after hitting a Kent State student last year with her car while she was driving intoxicated. Carolyn Beal of 205A Klein Road in Brimfield was accused of driving drunk and striking a student crossing the roundabout at Kent State University near East Summit Street around 6:30 p.m. on September 5th, 2019. The victim, a 22-year-old Lake Milton woman, was hospitalized at University Hospital's Portage Medical Center in Ravenna from the time of the incident through September 10th, said Lieutenant Mike Lewis of the Kent Police Department. Lewis said the crash caused the victim serious physical harm. The university confirmed she is a Kent State student. According to police, a breathalyzer test showed Beal had a blood alcohol content of 0.144 over the 0.08 legal limit. Beal pleaded guilty to aggravated vehicular assault, a third-degree felony, and driving while intoxicated, a first-degree misdemeanor. She was sentenced to 1 year in prison for the felony charge and 6 months in jail for the misdemeanor, which she will serve at the same time. Her license was also suspended, and she was fined $500. Her attorney was not immediately available for comment. Our next article, Wild Eagle Saloon to open next year in Streetsboro by Bob Gagins. Streetsboro soon will be home to a new restaurant, Wild Eagle Saloon, and an Aspen Dental in a building built by Geist Company along Route 14, just east of Shady Lake Drive. Basically, to sum it up, our premise for all the Wild Eagles, especially the ones in Broadview and Streetsboro, is we want the whole family to come in for dinner, says Russ Mengel, managing partner at Geist Hospitality Groups. After 9 or 10 p.m., parents can take the kids home, and mom and dad can stay and listen to the band and have some fun. The restaurant, bar, and gaming establishment will be about 7,000 square feet in size and accommodate, once social distancing guidelines associated with COVID-19 are lifted, about 175 diners inside and an additional 120 outdoors in fair weather, says Mengel. The restaurant is currently under construction by Geist Company, and the building also will house an Aspen Dental office, he added. An opening for the restaurant is likely sometime between March 1st and mid-April. The Streetsboro Wild Eagle Saloon will be the third in the area, joining restaurants in Broadview Heights and downtown Cleveland, according to Mengel. One of the most unique features at the restaurant will be a beer wall, said Mengel. Well, let's continue talking about this saloon. You can buy a beer card, and we'll have 24 different beers on the wall, and you can try all these different beers, he explained. Additionally, there will be a full bar for folks who prefer just to chat over drinks while playing skeet ball, cornhole, video games, and Pop-A-Shot basketball games, says Mengel. We're going to have whiskey barrels, beer barrels, stuff like that, like a saloon, he said. It's very impressive the way the decor is done. Some of the stuff is antique. In addition to the full bar, beer wall, and games, Mengel also said the restaurant will include an area that can swing from dining around 6 p.m. to dancing later at night when the band comes in and the patrons focus more on entertainment and amusement than food. The entertainment will take place on Saturday nights and possibly some Fridays as well, depending on the local entertainment scene, says Mengel. You might go there at 7 p.m. and not leave until 12 a.m., he said. What we describe to our staff when we're looking for talent is, it's a little bit country and a little bit rock and roll. We try to do that with our service, our music, and our decor. The menu will be very similar to the Broadview Heights restaurant's menu, which Mengel says is a little more expansive than the downtown Wild Eagles menu. For Broadview Heights, it became more of a destination place just because of the games and music, he said, adding it pulls customers from as far away as Kent and Northridgeville. The menu there includes a variety of appetizers, including mac and cheese balls, pepperoni wontons, and 3 Little Pigs, which is a mix of fried pork rinds, pulled pork bacon, beer, cheese, jalapenos, scallions, and barbecue sauce. It's a southern spin on modern bar fare, said Mengel. We have a lot of flexibility. If somebody is vegetarian or vegan, we are very easily able to accommodate them. That might be because virtually all the hard work preparing food is done in the kitchen. We don't have a super healthy menu. It's supposed to be decadent, but it's all fresh, all the cheeses and spices. We have a 90% scratch kitchen, says Mengel. Among salads available at the Wild Eagle Saloon is the buffalo chicken salad, which includes lettuce, carrots, tomatoes, red onions, cheddar, and is served with blue cheese. Burgers and steaks are prominent on the menu, he added, but there are also a variety of salads and flatbread sandwiches. The steaks at the Broadview Heights restaurant range from an 8-ounce sirloin for about $16 to a $28 filet, and there are lots of options in between, including prime rib. The two-handed fun menu, sandwiches and burgers, includes options ranging from classic burger recipes to a shrimp po' boy and a prime rib sandwich. One of the menu items at the Broadview Heights restaurant is chili cheese fries. The menu there will be similar to the Streetsboro menu. The menu also includes entrees including pork chops, ribs, chicken, and fish dishes. And for those who just can't figure it out, the Chief Eagle platter, a selection of the best of Wild Eagle can sum up, including ribs, pulled pork, Nashville chicken, pork belly, burnt ends, and more. Our downtown location has everything Broadview has. It just doesn't have the steaks, said Mengel. Streetsboro will have the steaks. Hours of operation will likely be from 11 a.m. to midnight Sunday through Thursday and 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Now we can move on to our next article. Kent State Rock. Black Community Covers Message of Hate with Unity Pride by Krista Kano. Members of the Kent State's Black community have taken back the University Rock at the base of Hilltop Drive, covering up a racially inflammatory statement with the silhouettes of an African queen. Last Friday, Black United students issued a statement via Twitter that the rock had been painted to read, "Say their names," but that those words, an homage to the Black and brown lives lost to political brutality, had been painted over with the words, "White Lives Matter." For those of you who don't know, White Lives Matter is not an inclusive term, nor does it signify anything other than hate, and was created in retaliation to Black Lives Matter and the movement, the statement reads. The words were quickly covered by another group of students, but the impact remains, according to BUS President Tayo Hines. On Monday morning, WLM, signifying White Lives Matter, was still partially visible on the back of the rock. A lot of the students didn't see it, but it happened, Hines said, who added that her first thought was upon hearing what had happened was, "We starting again. This wasn't nothing new. I was just baffled that it happened this early due to us starting school on Friday, and they decided to do it now. We haven't even been here for a whole week. They took our homage and covered it with racism." Tira Moore, president of undergraduate student government, heard about the rock from Hines and said that she too was surprised by the timing. "I'm trying to think of all our freshmen, but especially our African American freshmen who just got here. It's a really bad way to start the semester. I don't want them to look at this institution and think this is what we stand for and this is who we are as a community, because it's not. I'm disappointed that someone would do this so early on. It sets a negative tone for the semester," Moore said. On Monday, Moore and Hines were at the Rock with about a dozen other students, including Voices of Color President Martisha Thompson, who invited different Black campus organizations to join her in painting the Nubian Queen of Egypt, Tayi, against a gold background and above the words "Unity." "I chose her because I feel like she's not recognized enough, and Google still has her as something totally different from who she actually is. That's part of the education that the Caucasian community needs to educate themselves," said Thompson. Thompson, who saw the White Lives Matters paint before it was covered, added that by having multiple student organizations work together on the painting would represent the unity of Kent's Black community. "It's to show our campus that we're safe no matter the threats that are directed towards us. By threats, I mean the white supremacists who decided to write White Lives Matter, covering a memorial to the lives lost to police murder. I've gotten word that many of our students don't feel safe on campus, so our job is to bring them together, show them that we have safety in numbers," Thompson said. The university responded to the events, saying messages that are intended to be upsetting and hurtful are unconstructive and do not reflect our core values as a university, and that the event shows the importance of social justice and anti-racism work, including the university's anti-racism task force. Hines said that with the task force and other prominent Black community leaders aware of the situation, outcomes will happen. There will be progress. Moore said that she has been in conversations with university officials since Friday and that they are planning a virtual town hall similar to the ones they had in the spring following the death of George Floyd to discuss the incident. "I feel we need to discuss this now. We can't keep pushing this off and waiting on this. It's important to address, and with the town hall and the task force, we'll have to move on to action steps because I would like to see not only statements from the university, but actions as well, Moore said, adding that she would like to see an investigation by university or the city and would like to see repercussions for perpetrators. Eric Manfield, university spokesman, said that the Rock is a free speech zone and can be painted by anyone and is not limited to Kent State students. As such, the university does not attempt to identify painters. The Rock has been at its current location since 1972 and was originally decorated by Greek organizations. It has since become an ever-changing record of life at Kent State and has been described by a 2016 Kent Wired article as a mood ring, a multicolored boulder, even a canvas, and in many ways the university's self-portrait. Well, our next article, golf. High school season has 2 weeks before tournaments, by Susan Jenyer. September marks the beginning of the tournament season for high school golf, with just 2 weeks of matches remaining prior to conference at OHSAA tournaments. The Battle of the Undefeated. In the battle of the Portage Trail Conference undefeated teams, the Mogadore Wildcats just got by the Ritztown Rovers at Paradise Lake Country Club in Suffield. But a win is a win. Corey Gassaway of Mogadore recently shot a 42 in the Wildcats match against Ritztown. The two teams meet again on September 21st, just 2 days before the PTC tournament at Sable Creek in Hartville. Low scores of the match were fired by Wildcats Dylan Pendergast with a 34, Corey Gassaway 42, Reese Davis 43, and Grant Berkheimer with a 44. Rovers scores included Mason Bartholomew with a 39, Cole Hostetler with 39, Blake Bauer 44, and Cale Vasbinder 47. Final score, Mogadore 163, Ritztown 169. It's going to be an exciting end to the season. Field Falcons. The Field Girls have been quietly playing their way to victories in the Metro League with 8 wins and only 1 loss to Cloverleaf. Field recently swept a triangular match over Norton and Woodridge. Devon Carpenter, Anna Shearer, and Marley Grimm have been leading the Falcons. The Falcons have a rematch with Cloverleaf scheduled for this week. Aurora Greenman. It's been an awesome start to the season for the girls from Aurora, which has had a 1-2 punch against teams with Brooklyn Milliard and Emily Pierce leading the way. The Greenmen play Laurel, Independence, and Nordonia this week prior to the 3rd of 4th suburban tournaments at Fox Den on September 19th. Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders. The Roosevelt girls earned a victory over Hudson at Ellsworth Meadows, a 152 to 163. We have been working all year to have a day where 4 girls all shoot well, said Coach Brian Harvey. The match against Hudson was it. The greens were fast at Ellsworth Meadows and the winds were a factor, said Harvey. Our girls stayed focused and made adjustments. Marin Seaholtz and Sydney Levery set the tone early and gave us a nice cushion. Marin was automatic hitting greens and 2 putting. Seaholtz 35 was her low 9-hole score. Isabel Minio birdied both par 5s on her way to a 36, the first time she broke 40 in a match, said Harvey. Levery had been working on her swing and managed the course well to shoot a 38, and Maddie Cost drove the ball well and hit a lot of greens. I was expecting to be in the 150s this season, so I'm very pleased where we are right now. Well, it's time for the Portage County Crime Reports by Eileen McCrory. Remember, these crime reports are a sampling of incidences responded to by the local and law enforcement agencies, and they're not intended to be all-inclusive. In Franklin Township, a 35-year-old Kent woman was charged with theft, a first-degree misdemeanor, after allegedly stealing face masks from Acme on August 27th. She has pleaded not guilty and was released on a recognizance bond. In Kent, a 20-year-old Auburn woman was charged with sales to use by underage, a first-degree misdemeanor, and an open container violation, a minor misdemeanor, after an incident on Friday on East School Street and South Lincoln Street. She was released on a 10% of $5,500 bond. A 28-year-old Kent woman was charged with violating a protection order, a first-degree misdemeanor, after an incident on August 15th. A summons was issued. In Streetsboro, Joshua Moran, 33, of 5513 New Milford Road, Ravenna Township, was charged with theft, a fourth-degree felony. According to court records, he stole a 2020 Dodge Ram truck from Route 43 on Wednesday. A warrant was issued. A 56-year-old Streetsboro man was charged with domestic violence, a first-degree misdemeanor, after an incident on August 25th. A temporary protection order was filed and a warrant was issued. A 33-year-old Ravenna Township man was charged with domestic violence, a first-degree misdemeanor, after an incident on Wednesday. A temporary protection order was filed. In Shalersville, a 55-year-old Garrettsville man was charged with driving while intoxicated, a fourth-degree felony, after an incident on Wednesday. He has 5 prior convictions for OVI, according to court records. He was released on a recognizance bond. Well, friends, that concludes the reading of the Record Courier for Tuesday, September the 1st. My name is Pam, saying you please stay safe, be blessed, and do what you can to make it a great day.